Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the Knife Center, and I see a lot of black-handled knives at my job here, and frankly, it's time I took a stand for something different. So we've got the most colorful new knives that have just hit our shelves right here on the table in front of me. Let's get into it. All right everyone, welcome to the show. We do have some colorful knives. I think one basic black-handled knife on the table. I'm gonna save it for last and save some of the, there's some budget stuff coming up at the end as well, but we're gonna start with brown. Brown's a color, right?
It's a couple of colors.
So this is the return of our second round of the Spyderco Shaman in our exclusive variation S90V blade steel, giving you a huge bump in edge retention over the S30V of the standard model, and burlap micarta handles for a nice rugged feel. And it's still the same great Shaman you all know and love. Shaman, yes, that. Here's the deal. We had these back for a little bit. We first launched this knife in 2022, sold out in a day. Came back a little bit later, I think last year, and price had gone up because prices had gone up in that period of time. And the other thing was, it turned out there was a small batch or a small percentage of that run actually had some fit and finish issues, some QC issues that we were noticing. So what we did, we actually pulled them all off our shelves, sent them back to Spyderco, and had them re-go over everything for us. And now they're back. So all of these are freshly tuned up by Spyderco. They look and feel great. And to make it up for the folks who have been waiting for these to come back, we're actually running a special limited price, or a limited time price on this knife, $238. That's the same price these were back in 2022 before prices started going up. We're not making as much money off of these as a result, but we figured it was the appropriate thing to do. So check it out. It's the Shaman. 3.6-inch blade, S90V as mentioned, a little bit thicker at the spine than many of Spyderco's models, and not quite a full flat grind either. Lends this knife a bit more of a feeling of durability than some of their other models, which is not to say other Spyderco models are not durable, but this is just leaning more into the toughness aspect. Same deal with the compression lock here on the back. Very tough, very reliable, finger safe closing action, which I always appreciate, and wrist flick opening and closing is achievable as well. 4-position pocket clip, so you can hold it any which way. Feels good in the hand when you do hold it any which way, and it's just a great hard use pocket knife. Camping, working, lots of heavy work, whatever it happens to be, excellent choice. And you don't have to be any of those if you want just a heavy-duty pocket knife, something you can rely on. Check it out. All right, one more brown thing, then more colorful things to come up. New version of the Leatherman ARC, the ARC Talos, with a coating here on the handles itself, a Cerakote finish actually. And this gives it a little bit more of a rugged demeanor, rugged look than the standard ARC. It also gives it a little bit of extra traction. It's not a satin brushed finish like the standard ARC, and you get more grip as a result. Apart from that, it's the Leatherman ARC, which is sort of I consider it kind of like the next generation or the next evolution of the Leatherman Wave. It kind of takes what made that knife or that multi-tool great and puts it on the free architecture that they use right here. First of all, you've got the pliers with replaceable cutters, of course. You've got the ability to do that very easily because of the way these are built with magnets. It's not as stiff as a Leatherman Wave might be fresh out the box. We've also got, well, how could I forget? The raison d'etre, right? The MagnaCut blade. So you've got stainless capabilities, you've got high edge retention, and you've got toughness. Makes it a great choice for something like this that you're just gonna wanna use and abuse, quite honestly. I know the way I use my multi-tools and my ARC as well, I don't baby the blades necessarily as much as a fancier pocket knife. So it's a great materials choice on this option. And because all the tools are locking and accessible from the outside, you get finger safe closing action. Another thing I appreciate.
When you said raison d'etre, I thought you were going with bottle opener.
That is one of my favorite Dogfish Head beer is no longer available. The raison d'etre. Yeah. Anyway, back to the knifey thing. We've got a saw, also accessible from the outside, with one. Well, actually, all the tools are one-hand openable technically, because you can do that with the rest. Flat bit driver on the one side, can opener as well. This is the included flat blit is flathead, as well as their combination number 1/number 2 Phillips head driver. It actually works pretty well on both. That is the only included bit in this version of the ARC. We have got the double-sided file, or actually it's triple-sided technically, because you got the edge file. Crosscut, edge file, and diamond file. You have got the reamer /awl. You've got the micro screwdriver, the eyeglasses driver, there you go, with flat and Phillips head as well. Flathead / bottle opener / pry bar right there as well. And of course, nice big pair of scissors. Pocket clip included, no sheath on this one, so keep that in mind. Anyway, price on that, about 250 bucks. Let's get into some fancier looking handles now, shall we? Get some color going. How about this? The LionSteel made, Spyderco branded, Slym design. This is kind of the latest in a nice tradition that Spyderco enjoys with several of the Italian knife manufacturers, where they take an excellent model that, in this case, LionSteel already makes, puts a Spyderco twist on it, and then LionSteel, in this case, builds the knife for them. This is, of course, based on the LionSteel Skinny. We have a Skinny or Slim M390 blade, 3.4 inches long, and an integral titanium handle on this bad boy. The cool thing about an integral handle is, well, it's integral. It's a single piece. No fasteners attaching one side of the handle to the other. It creates a very strong and robust backbone for the rest of the knife to live inside. And it also, not necessarily so much in this case, but it gives the opportunity to close the gap at the back, and that can be an ergonomic benefit as well. You don't have as many places for your, the flesh of your hand to kind of get pinched into. You still have some openings on the back of this one, a little more than is strictly necessary, but it looks very cool, and it still feels pretty comfy too. It's gonna be real easy to integrate into your everyday carry thanks to how slim or skinny it is. We've got a reversible deep carry pocket clip, tail mounted for truly deep carry. Crown spine here, so that's not gonna tear up anything else in your pocket when it's in there as well. We got a flipper tab for opening, just like the original, and it is LionSteel's removable flipper tab. So you could remove that if you want for a cleaner look in both the closed or the open and the closed position. If you don't like the little thing sticking out there, a flipper tab, just take it off, because you do have, of course, the signature Spyderco opening hole right there. Let me see if I can reverse flick it. Haven't tried it yet. Ooh. Yep, there we go. Works quite nicely. If you like your gentleman's knives to have a little bit more reach to them, if you don't need it to be like a 2.5 to 3 inch blade, this could be an excellent choice. Good for all around everyday carry, of course, as well. Price on that, $277 and some change. Price on these next knives is about $380, and it is the BBNM from North Mountain Blade. We've had several varieties of these come into stock, and we've got some carbon fiber handled front versions right here. I don't think they are fat carbon, indeed they are not, but they are fancy carbon in any case. Both blade shapes, we've got the clip point and the Tonto with several different fancy fronts. These are just two of them. The green, white, and black here is Arctic green, white, and the other one is toxic green, yellow. Both very cool, very eye-catching. There's also kind of a black and white one, similar look to what you get on that Spyderco Slym right there. But the BBNM is an excellent knife for hard use, and these give you a little bit more of a kind of fancy flair to go with those hard use vibes. High strength or a high hardness tool steel blade, at least at the core. This is an SLD magic blade, as they call it. Gives you the cladding on the outside, but that high hardness core steel at the center for toughness and edge retention. Not stainless, however. Washers in the pivot instead of ball bearings gives that, again, a little bit more of a rugged feel, and nice chunky frame lock construction, again, for just that unmistakable feel of solidity when you pick that knife up. This is not a scalpel-like slicer. This is a bit more of a brute force knife, and they've been very successful because honestly, there's fewer things like this on the market these days than perhaps there once was. But at least you can get some fancy ultra-modern material on it, or ultra-current feeling material on it as well. Check out all the versions down below. If you want a black-handled version, we've also got both blade shapes with a black frag titanium handle with black blades. But we're not doing all black blades in this episode, are we?
In living color.
One more fancy carbon handled knife before even more color. This is a 2025 limited edition Browning. This is the Medallion fixed blade. $233 for this. It's made in Taiwan with the Damascus blade, and this is number 15 of 500 pieces, as you can see right here. The Damascus steel is of some metallurgical variety. If we can find out before this video goes live, we'll put it right here. But I don't have the information in front of me right now. 3.5-inch drop point blade with a recurve and a drooping has negative connotations, a downward canted handle here. I mean, this is a classic hunting knife shape for sure. Really fits the Browning brand, and the handles here are brass infused carbon fiber. Looks more gold, quite honestly. It's really nice. Feels good in the hand. It's a nice, nimble knife. Blade stock is not super thin, so there's definitely some strength in this if you want to, use this knife as an actual thing as opposed to a collectible. But it gives it a little more of that heavier duty feel. Sheath is black leather. There you go. Simple but classic design. We've got a nice thick welt on the side. There you go. The Browning Medallion. All right, more colors. Microtech and Heretic especially, and got something from both of them, are really doing cool things on handle colors and finishes these days. Just kind of thinking about outside the box, doing some original feeling stuff. Even on a classic model like this Socom Elite, this is one of the automatics. This is the Weather Blue finish. It is blue, but it's kind of like battle dirtied in a way. You've got, I think a better way to describe it, it's like a patina almost from use. Like something's been out being used for years. You've got this almost like crust to it. But just look at how cool that is. I think it's cool anyway. The blade itself is M390MK, a highly precise alteration or rendition of M390, guaranteeing essentially very consistent performance on all of Microtech's blades using that steel. Very high edge retention. Not as tough as some other stainlesses out there, but this is not a thin blade that you're really gonna have to worry about it snapping or anything like that. You certainly could. Do anything hard enough, you certainly can, but you know what I mean. Big 4-inch clip point blade, long tapering handle, tapering towards the back, good flare for the thumb stud or the thumb ramp at the front. It just orients really nicely as a utilitarian tactical folder, which is of course what this knife is known for good reason. Single position pocket clip, glass breaker at the back, traction inserts on the front for extra grip, and of course, Microtech action. They may be more known for their out the front autos, but their side openers like this are still quite excellent. Speaking of side opening automatics, Protech is kind of the giant in the industry these days. This version of their Godfather with a new handle finish, Crimson Tiger Camo. How cool looking is that? I'll pause for a moment so you can tell me down in the comments how cool looking it is. Price on this, $300. I didn't mention the price on the Microtech. Sorry, I'm getting lax on that a little bit. $358 for that particular Microtech. Actually, on that note, I should mention the Microtech sale going on.
We're just all over the place.
I am sorry, guys. Several Microtech models, not this one, we have put a pretty significant discount on. We'll leave a link to that, to the on sale Microtech in the description below, where you can find links to all these knives, of course. Back to the Godfather. Sorry, Protech. 4-inch blade here, 154 cm steel, handle, kind of an angular, streamlined, modernized take on the classic Italian stiletto, which means the name like Godfather is very, very appropriate, of course. that's aluminum handles. That's just such a cool looking finish. We've got the new broad deep carry pocket clip. Not completely deep carry, as you can see, but the new broad folded over pocket clip that ProTech is using to great effect. We've got a mother of pearl firing button, and of course, still sounds like a ProTech. I don't know what it is, but I can always tell when an auto is being opened if it's a ProTech or not. They just have a signature sound that is oh so very satisfying, I think. Check it out. That's really cool. Lots of cool new ProTech stuff. Actually, we've got new manual Cambria V2s in aluminum, some cool fancy Terzola models that ran out of space for on the table, but check out our ProTech selection. Next up, bright orange with Terrain 365, the latest iterations of their Invictus design. 375 for this one right here. It is slimmer, I believe, than previous versions of the Invictus. You've also got this integral titanium bolster right here. Orange G10 on this one to spice things up color-wise, because that's what we're doing today. Very generous hidden lanyard spot at the back, milled pocket clip with a nice bit of flex to it. Some of these milled pocket clips can be very stiff, and some people don't like that. This one, I think, it's a really good spot, probably because of how long and milled away it happens to be. Glow-in-the-dark thumb studs and Terravantium for the blade material, which is not steel. It's dendritic cobalt, very high edge retention going on with this material, and stainless, like truly stainless. As instead of stains less, it doesn't stain. But think of it like, you know, Spyderco's Salt series is the same way. Everything in the handle, not just the blade, is designed to be corrosion proof. So if that's something that you value, this could be a very good option. This knife definitely has some tactical vibes, but it also reminds me a lot, especially with this bolster here, of a Barlow, like a modernized working knife of that classic design. We've got a frame lock for security, of course. It's not a classic slip joint Barlow. It does everything you want a modern knife to do in a very useful package. Next up, Heretic, the other fancy colored company that is really pushing things forward. The Manticore S in a yellow cell shade finish, that kind of comic book inspired paint job, we'll say. It's not paint, but you know what I mean. 336 for this one. Some of that is, of course, that price premium comes with the more involved finish going on here. The blade itself, just over 2.5 inches long, Magna Cut steel with the Tanto finish in this case. Nice little everyday carry out the front automatic. Action is very good. Pocket clip is reversible and substantial. I said lanyard point. Well, you do have a lanyard, small lanyard hole at the back, but you've also got a ball bearing for glass breaking at the back too. Not the only color of this we have in stock at the moment. There are other cell shade variants that you could get your hands on, as well as, of course, other non-cell shaded variants. We've got the larger Manticore E as well, with about a 3-inch blade. Let's see if we have any of the larger ones. Yep, we do have a couple Manticore X's with a 3.7-inch blade. If you like this look, well, this outline anyway, but not so much the size, you can check out those other options as well. I like it. This would really make a great little EDC out the front, because the blade stock itself, even though it's not a full flat grind, it's thin enough here that you're going to have a sufficiently slicey knife for just general utility. Of course, a 2.5-inch OTF is, you know, not necessarily a tactical implement. Could if you had to, of course.
Yeah, not with that attitude.
Well, true. But having something this size, this convenient, and this efficient in its cutting geometry is very nice. How about a pocket fixed blade? As if you had a choice.
I can't stop you.
Restocked minnows from Creely Blades. In orange here, not just any old orange, however. We've also got it in black with some different colored liners, if you don't like the big bright handles. But this is a 3D printed carbon handle, or carbon fiber composite for the handles right there. Very cool. It's very lightweight, very tough, and very hand-filling too. Check out the generous swell on the side that Creely gives you right there. It's still just a 3-finger knife, but it has substance to it. This is unlikely to slip out of your grip. At least it feels that way to me, thanks to that swell right there. You're also able to do some nice pinch grips on that small blade, which is of course Magna Cut steel, because you can probably see it says Magna Cut from the way I'm holding it here. Just over 2 inches long with that straight clip point out there towards the tip. Just an awesome pocket fixed blade. $204 for these. It comes with a sheath, everything here made in the USA. It's a leather sheath, and there are 2 attachment methods provided. You have a belt carry loop right here, so you can carry it cross draw like so. There is also an ulti-clip included in the tube being right there, that you could clip onto there and carry it very easily in the pocket. Great little convenient size for a very reliable everyday carry knife. No pivots or moving parts to wear out with time. Just super reliable, full tang strength in a very small little package. I'm a big fan of pocket fixed blades though. If you know, you know.
I had no idea.
Yes, you did. All right. Now the most importantest of colors, red, white, and blue right here, right?
That's 3 colors.
I said colors.
You said color.
I said colors. Check the tape. Only the most importantest of colors, red, white, and blue. Right? Importantest of colors, rest of colors. Only the most importantest of colors, red, white, and blue. Right? You could manipulate it to drop the S, so I don't trust you. I don't trust the tape. This is a muskrat from Case with a engraved and colorized bone handle on the front and simply bone on the back. $128 for this one with the American flag motif, and of course the pair of long muskrat style clip point blades, one opening from each end. Classic, right? Right. That sounded sarcastic. It is classic.
Sarcastic.
Don't come at me, bros. Stainless steel blades, Case's long-running, true sharp stainless, high-polished finish here, which is always Thomas's favorite thing to take care of. Slightly serpentine handle to the muskrat. It's an elegant everyday carry folder. If you don't like this particular version of this motif, if you want a different bladed variant, we have, these aren't necessarily new like this, but we have trappers and mini trappers and stockmans and mini copper locks and large stockmans, and of course the muskrat that you see right here. I promised some more affordable stuff. We've finally reached that point. Thanks for sticking with me. This is from Fox under their BlackFox brand. This is the Teeny folding knife, or as it says on the top of our page here, the Teeny 2-hand liner lock. Wish they called it Teeny 2-hand. That's
Teeny 2 hands.
I like it. $41 and some change for this. You've got a 2.5-inch D2 blade and a modified sheep's foot profile. Is that a hollow grind? It is a slight hollow grind on the knife. Couldn't tell for a second. Blue micarta handles, nice orange pivot collar for a hint of accent. Wire pocket clip, deep carry, pretty deep carry, and reversible as well. And it is a liner locking knife, and it is a 2-hand opener with the nail nick right there. Designed potentially to comply with European or German specific regulations, I think, that allow locking blades as well as allowing 2-hand opening blades, but only one at a time. You can't have a locking 2-hand opening or a locking 1-hand opening knife. You can, however, have a locking 2-hand opening knife or a 1-hand opening knife that doesn't lock. Covered it all?
There are 2 paths that just lead to knife.
Uh-oh.
Edit that out.
Well, no, I don't want someone who specifically wants a locking non-1-hand openable knife to buy this and think, yeah, because you can kind of. It's a cool little knife, right? It definitely is. The weight of it is just over 2 ounces. It looks cool, looks friendly, and yet it will cut stuff. Kind of like me. And look, we're back to brown now. We've come full circle. This is the ZW Spear, or just the Spear flipper from Fox under the BlackFox lineup, of course. 58 or just under $58, 3-inch D2 blade, kind of a straight-backed profile with the upswept belly there, leaning into that Quaken styling, just on a little bit of a smaller scale perhaps, but a thicker handle than some. So it's definitely narrow, definitely easy to find space in your pocket this way, but it's not shrimpy. There is a decent amount, a very decent amount of handle to grip onto if you want to, engage in a more powerful feeling grip, or like the feeling of knives that allow that at the very least. Zebra wood is the handle material. We have a deep carry pocket clip, single-sided in this case, pocketed into that wood handle there. A little bit of contour, not really too much contour to the blade. You do have some nice chamfering to knock the corners off though. Feels nice and comfy. Liner lock on this one. Blade completely buried, just the flipper tab sticking out. Nice flipping action. What more you want to know? Ask in the comments. More brown, more brown. How about this? The Spartan Blades Field Grade Nemec liner locking folder right here. Just want to make sure I got that name right. This is sort of an executive style knife for sure, but leaning a little more, in this colorway at least, to the rugged, slightly more tactical vibes. You can also get it, let me make sure I get all the colors you can get right now. Gray handles, blue handles with a variation or an assortment of black or stonewashed blades at this point in time. Ooh, you can also get a titanium handled version. This one is not titanium. This is injection molded material right here. 124 bucks for this. 3.5 inch S35 VN blade. And if you know the name Nemec, and even if you don't, if you look at this very distinctive swedge on the back of the blade here, you might make the connection. Andre Nemec, our friend from Acta Non Verba, collaborated with Spartan for this knife. And this is a swedge style that you see a lot on those ANV knives. So cool to see that incorporated here as well. We've got a liner lock, a nested liner lock for security right there. We have a very narrow profile overall, wire pocket clip, very deep carry and very reversible. And just the flipper tab again, nice action on that. Feels pretty smooth, is that? No, it is ball bearings, but it has a bit more of, less of that glassy-like feel. It feels almost slightly more washer style in the way it flips open, but very nice. Maybe it's because of the injection molded handles, or maybe deadening some of the ting you sometimes feel from washers or from ball bearings. I'm not sure. It flips great, don't get me wrong. Yeah, crown spine, nice and comfy, very elegant. All right, more brown and black. Halfbreed blades. This is the SOFMAK version of their medium infantry knife with multicam G10 handles right here that of course feel pretty good. You do of course have that alternating mountain tread texture that allows you to see more of the layering on that G10, which looks good, and it feels nice too. It doesn't really bite. If you're worried about that, no need to worry, I would say. $270 for this knife, very high quality. K340 for the blade steel, 5.3 inches on the length. And the big difference between this and other versions of the medium infantry is of course this serrated section on the spine of the knife, giving you, an extra area to kind of hook in and rip backwards. It's kind of the way I would use it for cutting, because the actual spine of the blade itself is not sharpened. Just the sharpened side is sharpened, if you know what I mean. So you can still get out here towards the tip if you need to avoid the serrations there. Suppose one could sharpen it. It would be a fairly thick edge because the top of the spine is not super thin right there. But that could be a good thing if you want to maintain some strength, of course. Actually, K340 is a difference that versus some of the other half-breed models, which often use D2 or K110. K340 should give you more toughness than the D2 variants in their lineup. Edge retention might not be quite as high, but if you want something that is really rugged, K340 will be a pretty good choice for that. If you're worried about stain resistance, because K340 is not stainless, the coating on the blade, which is a PVD finish, will help keep rust at bay for sure. But yeah, very cool combat-inspired knife, manageable size, in the medium infantry lineup, of course. If you're not big on the backward or the backside serrations, check out other versions at the series. We've also got larger blade lengths, different blade shapes, a whole bunch of stuff to choose from. And they all come with high quality sheaths because they're half-breed blades and that's what they do. Injection molded, 2 single row dots style attachments here. That allows, of course, for MOLLE compatibility as well as being able to use it on the belt. Also comes with a Tech-Lock style clip for belt carry, which you can set up for horizontal or vertical or inverted quite easily. So one thing I always appreciate about Halfbreed is they give you options typically with their sheath attachments. So not all companies do that nowadays, so it's worth calling out for sure. Next up, the last brown knife on the table. The Mechforce Nebo V2, a collaboration with Jared Oser. The blade, ooh, it's the first reverse tanto on the blade, or on the table today.
Nice represent.
It says drop point on the website. We'll have to fix that. That's incorrect. $360 for this knife. You've got a 3-inch L-Max blade, heavy stone-washed finish. It's kind of a patinaed and stone-washed finish. Actually, it looks a lot like the Hinderer working finish, for example. You've got the reverse tanto blade shape. It's vaguely Spey-ish, I would say. This is actually closer in shape to the original reverse tanto, or the knife that coined that phrase, that being the Benchmade 940, than many of the reverse tantos on the market today. I like the handles though, that's my favorite part. Antique linen micarta, nested frame lock, essentially. It's, yeah, you could kind of call it that bolster style frame lock, but even then it doesn't quite fit. I mean, that's just really cool. Just very nice visual element, just the top of that lock bar being seen from that side. I don't know, it's doing it for me. I like the way that presents itself. We've got a cool pivot on it as well with a brass style or maybe more coppery ring around it. Milled pocket clip with a matching finish to the blade, or very similar at the very least. And small dimensionally, but like that Fox we looked at earlier, nice and hand-filling when you need it to be more than just a 3-inch knife. It's really cool. The flipper tab works great. We've got ball bearings in the pivot. I haven't tried the thumb opener, or the blade cutout for reverse flicking yet, and it works very, very nicely. Did I mention the price yet? $360 for this knife. It feels very awesome. That handle's very, very cool. Next up, we've got a couple models from Three Rivers, TRM. This is the Holier Nerd right here, a very cool small knife, 2.2-inch blade with Magna Cut blade steel and a milled titanium handle. You can get it in this standard color as well as a blue titanium version, which also looks very cool. US made, price on this is $340. You've got a very thin, slicey blade and sort of a...
Yep.
Website says clip point. I'm going with that this time. You could call that a modified tanto, or a reverse tanto if you wish. I'm not going to fight you on those today. Nested liner lock, deep carry pocket clip, nested in the handle itself with flush head screws, and not a dinky amount of space there. You can still put this on some fairly thick pant pocket hems. Reverse flick works really nicely, as well as standard thumb opening for a more gentlemanly appearance. And this does really strike me as a very gentlemanly small knife. This doesn't feel like this is not a work site variation of this knife at the very least. It has a really nice classiness to it for sure. It's a very cool knife, but overall I'm just really happy we're able to carry Three Rivers stuff nowadays. I've been an admirer of their stuff for a long time. I've had a few of their knives over the years, still do have a few of their knives, and it just makes me happy to see this US company expanding enough to be able to support dealers now. Next up from them, we have Rev B of their Bulldog, of the TRM Bulldog right here. You can kind of think of this as like a crossbar locking version of their Neutron model. They're great 3-inch bladed everyday folder, but with the crossbar lock in this case. $265 for this version, 2.95-inch blade, 20 CV blade steel in this case, giving you a really nice edge retention overall. Not as much toughness as Magna Cut, but very high edge retention going on. And a great usable shape for everyday carry with this very narrow tipped drop point. You've got good slicing geometry overall with the high flat grind, and you've got, you know, a nimbleness and a preciseness to what you're able to do if you're really just engaging that tip. There's not a whole lot of belly to interfere with, you know, that needle-like precision going on right there. The handles here are peel ply carbon fiber. You've got the crossbar lock, they call their version the river lock. You've got the same deep carry pocket clip we saw. Is it the same actually? On the Holier Nerd there. Yeah, it does appear to be the same. Again, pocketed with flush head screws, not reversible in this case, however. This, even though the crossbar lock is very lefty friendly, the clip in this case is gonna be right side carry. Check out that ting though. Sounds cool, huh? Sorry. I gotta do something to keep myself amused around here, I guess. What more do you want? This is not the plain old black handled knife I said we had on the table, although it almost is. Peel ply carbon in any case. 3 to 3.5 finger grip, depending on your hand size in the standard section right here. You have a small unguarded choil there. Doesn't really leave enough room for my larger fingers, but if I wanted to get up there with a fingertip, I could certainly do that for some of that precision work and really take advantage of the tip geometry right there. Feels solid. Definitely has enough girth there to be pushed harder than, you know, when you want it to be more than a 3-inch bladed knife. Like a few of the knives on the table today, this could definitely do it. One more premium knife, and then 2 more budget knives. A lot of premium stuff on the table today, so I apologize for the budget buyers today. This is the Fragarach, or the Fragarach from Artisan Cutlery. A premium folder, $200 for these. You actually get a pretty fair amount for that $200. Large blade, 3.72 inches of S90V steel. It's long and broad, so it's not a cheap blade to produce in this case. We've got a straight clip point going on. We've got, you know, thin enough with a really high flat grind going on. This is going to be a very, very slicey knife. It almost feels like they're going for a little bit of like that Koenig Arius vibe with this knife, and of course you can, you know, not find those anywhere near a $200 price point. So I'm not saying they're cloning it or you know, mimicking it in any way, but it feels in a similar vein to that type of design. The handle or inlays here on the titanium handles are really cool. Black and gold fat carbon, and it's like end cut. So it almost looks like a shimmery wood in a way, which is really, really cool. And you get that inlay, of course, on both sides. It actually helps with the over-travel arrestation of the frame lock right there. Let's check out the action on this knife. Man, that is a big, broad blade, isn't it? Just super impressive. Really nice thumb ramp here on the back for pushing into bigger cuts. No finger guard or anything to get in your way either. So if you like to choke up really nicely, you can definitely do that. You can get right behind the edge, which is not something that's doable on every folder out there. For example, the Microtech here, for example. Your edge starts a little bit further away from where your hand or your index finger sits, which is fine too, but if you're the kind of folk who likes to get right up there, you will certainly be unimpeded by the handle design on this knife. Very, very nice. Also from Artisan Cutlery, but priced like their CJRB budget subsidiary brand, is the Simoon with their recoil lock, V2 recoil lock. This knife is priced at just under $50. You've got a 3.5-inch scimitar style blade, we'll say. Big clip point going on here with a stonewash finish and RPM 9 steel, which is a spray form variant of 9CR stainless. Gives it a bit more toughness than your 9CR, and of course 9CR has a very good edge retention for this price range. D2 will certainly have an edge that should last longer, but that's less tough and it's not a stainless steel either, so it's only semi-stainless. The RPM 9, of course, is stainless. Blue G10 handles on this one, but several flavors are available. The recoil lock is V2 recoil lock. Is essentially a crossbar lock with a dorsal style fin here at the back. They've kind of combined the two into one, so you can actuate it with that spine mounted dorsal style fin, or you can operate it like any other crossbar lock if you wish. Pull the bar back, there you go. Ambidextrous controls, ambidextrous deep carry pocket clip as well. Very cool design. I think it would make a pretty decent everyday carry food prep folder as well, due to the amount of belly you've got going on here and the amount of clearance you get because of the handle angle right here. You could definitely pull off cutting board stuff with this. You might even, hey, you could even do a little bit of rocking, especially if you hang the tail back off the edge of your cutting board. You could do that even more nicely. That's a cool budget folder right there for sure. And last but not least, the basic black handled knife on the table, but as you can see, it's anything but basic looking. This is the Anansi carabiner folder from CJRB, the budget subsidiary of Artisan Cutlery, priced at $34 with a 1.6-inch RPM 9 hawkbill shaped blade. We've got black G10, you've got the carabiner gate at the back, so you could easily carry this on some other gear or carry other gear on it if you want to. Let's check out the blade opening. I haven't tried to reverse flick it yet. Felt really good, actually. Got my ring finger in the finger ring right there. Gives a really nice anchor point. If I fail to do it again after doing it so successfully the first time, that would be really funny. Liner lock, of course. If you couldn't see it, now you can. Yeah, just a cool little everyday utility type of thing. That tip work with this, especially opening stubborn like blister packages, would really shine with this design because you can get right up there, get in just the amount you need, and just really precisely just rip those annoying freaking packages open. I hate those things, they're the worst. And other daily cutting stuff too, of course. Not really a self-defense thing, even though it takes its styling cues from a karambit. At least I wouldn't consider it a self-defense knife. Just a cool, everyday carry, little sharp edge. And that's all we've got for today. Lots of knives on the table today, so thanks for sticking around with us. What do you think? More knives with color? Or do you like black knives? Let us know in the comments. If you want to get your hands on any of these knives, check out the links in the description that'll take you to KnifeCenter.com. And especially for these more expensive pieces, don't forget about our Sezzle payment options at checkout if you want to break things into more manageable chunks. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's Thomas behind the camera. We're signing off for now. See you next time.